My indie game has a huge problem, and it's the fact that it doesn't stand out. I mean, yeah, it's cool that it's 2.5D and people like the animation style, but there's other games that do that exact same thing. So what does my game have that these games don't already have? Well, to solve this problem, we came up with the idea to add a The 2D hub is a really important part of our game's identity and will be like where the player spends half of their time playing the game. So we wanted to make it intuitive and look pretty nice. What you're seeing behind me right now isn't a fully fleshed out version, but it will be very close to what we want it to look like. The 2D hub is a way for the character to get their upgrades and their perks, and also a way for another system to take place, which I'll get into later. The 2D hub also drives the story part of the game. So like in games like Hades, this is where you come back, you talk to NPCs, you advance your story, and you can get specific endings based on what you do here and what you do in the 3D portion of the game. This is where you start your adventure, so when we introduce the player to the gameplay, we'll start them here, and it'll tell them to go to the portal, which is how you start getting into the actual 3D part of the game. For dialogue, we used a add-on called Dialogic, which is really intuitive, and it basically makes adding dialogue very, very easy. We had a lot of fun working on the art for this area, and especially me with doing the animations, it was pretty fun. It was a good step back from all the 3D and the coding, and really brought me back to my roots, which is 2D art and design. And it also was a good portion to work on because my computer decided to stop working, and so I couldn't work on the 3D portion of the game.
Alright, so we're coming off the part where we're talking about the animations, talking about all the fun we had and whatnot. Yeah, we definitely had some fun. Me and Freak had a lot of fun. We didn't have fun. There was a lot of problems with these animations and drawings for the sprites that we did. The main culprit was definitely the portal. The portal did some things to me that I can't talk about in this video. I might single-handedly get this video demonetized. But instead of edging you in your seats, we're just gonna tell you what it did. It turned into a straight PNG.
It's just the first drawing?
Just a fucking picture. It's everything in tandem. It's just a picture. It was 9 goddamn hours.
But other than that, it's been relatively smooth sailing. Next, I want to talk about Churro, which is the second NPC we added into the game. When you walk in, you can see him sleeping on the desk, and you go up and talk to him. He'll talk to you about your physical upgrades. Physical upgrades include things like your metal jacket, which is what you wear going in to fight the enemies in the 3D section of the game. It doesn't have its own particular thing right now, but it's something that we're going to add upgrades into, so it'll add more to it once we get there.
Me and Aqua have been still learning GD script, so it's kind of hard to add simple features. And what I can think of now as an example is when we tried to add the pause menu. Pause menu took a lot of unnecessary time from development because of simple things like not acknowledging the root node and not putting certain things in the function. And it's just a testament to the process that we're using, which is learn while we're developing. And that process is really slow, but it's also really fun in a way. Up until now, the 3D aspect of Sugar Black Nightmare has been kind of bland. It's just been go around, shoot enemy, get upgrade, go back to hub. And that's fine, but I wanted to add something to make the player feel more engaged with the combat and make it feel like there's more pressure when you're in the 3D portion of the game. So we've added a new mechanic that brings a layer of tension to the 3D gameplay, and it's limited air supply. Players now enter each mission with a finite air tank, which slowly drains over time. This means you're not just fighting to survive. You're actually racing against the clock, which I feel like brings more feeling into the game. So you're actually thinking about what you're doing and where you're going and what you're doing with the amount of time that you have. And this will be upgradable. So when you get back to hub, you can upgrade the tank and you'll have more time. We added this system because it pushes players to make decisions faster and adds more variety to each run. It should make every run feel a little more intense, especially as you go deeper into the game. We'll also have like little mini capsules that'll randomly spawn throughout the map to where you can pick one up and it'll partially boost the amount of air you have in each run.
So talking more about the upgrades themselves, because we've been talking about these a lot, but we haven't really told you what they were. That being because we didn't really have a clue what they were. As you heard earlier, and we're adding oxygen into the game, so we want to add a way to upgrade your oxygen and or change out your oxygen, because we've decided we want this game to be kind of build based. If you've ever played a game like Warframe, it's not going to be like that, so don't think that you're going to be adding booty cheeks to your wisp or something like that. But we are going to add a way for you to add some build variety. So let's say, I don't know, you're a more fast-paced player, so you want to kill as much stuff as possible, and you might not care as much about exploration, so you just want to blitz through everything. Okay, you have your light oxygen tank. You put that on, you're faster, your dashes are faster, you attack faster, but your oxygen's at a lower amount, so you have to play aggressively now. You decided that, so you get the consequences of playing like that. Let's say you want to play a little more conservative. You like walking around, you're a little bit tanky. Okay, you get the heavy tank. You're slower, but you have more oxygen, and maybe you take less damage because, you know, you're wearing heavier armor to support said heavy tank. Then you have the basic tank. It's kind of in the middle. That's just what you play for your first playthrough, and then you go around and you fight normally. You don't really have that many buffs. You're kind of just the jack of all trades almost. But that's about it for your oxygen. But when we talk about your metal jacket, that's where it kind of becomes a little bit more about your actual fighting capabilities, because your metal jacket is going to be what's buffing your guns and or your melees, depending on what your playstyle is. So metal jacket stuff is going to be like your defense or your attack buffs. That's what the upgrades look like for Churro. But if we're talking about your upgrades from Molly, you're going to be getting stuff for your guns. So your guns could have, let's say you wanted armor piercing rounds. That would probably work really effectively against things like boss enemies. But if that's how you want to play it, you can play like that. Then you have things maybe like an ammo capacity upgrade. You have more ammo in your gun, but you lose out on another slot.
If you've made it this far into the video, consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing if you like it that much. And leave a comment telling us what you think we should add to the game next. And watch out for our streams, because we do stream development a lot, and that's where most of the gameplay is shown and most of the actual game. These videos are more so just explaining features, and in the future we will show a lot more. It's just kind of bad at making videos. I hope everyone here has a great rest of their day, and yeah, stay safe.